What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I wanted to break down what's going on with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. And break down what's happening with some very big data coming out for tomorrow, what's going on with some more data affecting the markets, what you should be watching for as time progresses. But before I begin to all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Mumu link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Mumu, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, now let's talk about NIO. So right now, NIO is kind of stuck between two EMAs. We're trying to hold above the 20 EMA at 5.79. But we also have resistance at the 50 EMA at 5.88. So this makes me think that right now the market is once again trying to hold up, at least for the time being. But I do want to note to everyone that as the market's pushing higher, it's going to have an effect on NIO to some extent. NIO is still stuck between these ranges. So we're going to be watching to see which way it moves. But SPY and the others are looking a lot stronger, especially for Tesla. So we're going to be watching some very important stuff. Let me first go over some data before I break down the charts. As a reminder, we have Logan from the Fed giving a speech at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And just be a little bit careful because he is known for being one of the most hawkish Fed speakers. What he says could affect the markets. Besides that, I also want to note that as far as the market goes, we have some earnings coming out. We just had Affirm, Pinterest, and just a couple of others. I saw Affirm basically dropped, and others are just not as volatile. Then we also have, excuse me, PepsiCo coming out for tomorrow. So we're going to be watching to see what that looks like. Besides that, there's not really much else coming out. The market's extremely greedy on the fear and greed scale, which tells us we have to be very careful. Right now, the market's holding up, but we're at very risky levels, especially when you look at market momentum being at these extremes. And also the puts and call positioning, we're still at extreme greed. When people are being very greedy, this is when you want to be a little careful, especially when the market gets closer to its top. Now, SPY has a 2.00 puts to call ratio for tomorrow. We tend to have a lot out there. We have over 875,000 puts expiring tomorrow and just under about 400,000, a little bit more than 400,000 calls. But overall, guys, there are way more puts out there. 2.00 puts to call ratio. It is absolutely insane. So we're going to be watching to see how this ends up going. Now, when it comes to NIO, we're getting a lot of negative articles out there. They're saying that NIO is a smaller player in a hyper-competitive market. Deliveries only grew about 30% in 2023, and we're getting a lot of bad news. There are other people out there saying that the competition is too fierce in China. NIO is not doing as well. It has all this competition with BYD and XPeng, and we're getting a lot of these articles that just keep on coming out. So I just want to note that I wouldn't necessarily trust these articles entirely because they tend to get their views based off clicks, but they do sometimes say things which are very worth noting. So they're saying NIO's deliveries are very unimpressive, but that's a little bit ironic considering that NIO's been getting consistent 10,000 month deliveries. Things are a little slow to start off this year, especially because we have the Lunar New Year coming up, and there is a weakening of demand. Of course, you can't really deny that, but you have to be patient and you have to give them time because the EV market is going to grow like crazy. The unimpressive deliveries they're talking about may not just be for NIO. Elon Musk and Tesla said that their growth production might be a little bit slow for this year as well as they're preparing for bigger deliveries. And also don't forget about demand issues and factors like that, which are still present. So the point I'm trying to make is that we can't solely attack NIO. It's the entire market that's going through different macroeconomic changes. And as far as NIO's long term goes, I'm still a very big bull. And the reason for that is because I see phenomenal growth coming from their deliveries. I think they're going to be improving their balance sheets. They're trying to cut expenses. Things are still looking fine. On top of this, NIO announced some board changes. This could hopefully help them improve. Already went over this in more detail yesterday, so I'm not going to talk as much about this. I'm not really seeing any changes in their Twitter page. I'm just seeing the same thing over and over again. So not really posting on Twitter. It's been a long time, and I find that a little bit surprising. So that's very interesting for now. Now, on top of this, NIO has about 30 million in volume, a little bit half than what we average get. So that's very interesting. And then the short volume is kind of the same. And as far as more pieces of data go, Bank of America Securities gave it a neutral rating. And then we also tend to see more volatility around noon, 2 p.m., and during the last hour of the day. So that being said, let's talk about the market. Let's talk about how NIO is looking. Watch resistance at the 50 EMA at 5.88 and watch support at 5.79. We have this gap to fill above, so there's going to be a good chance that NIO might try to push a little bit, especially with the markets. We might see this thing retest $6 and come back down. So I wouldn't be surprised if NIO does attempt to pop first and come back down first. In order for us to get a confirmation, watch and see which way we break, which EMA do we break. We're kind of stuck for now. How is SPY looking? Right now, SPY was just shuffling quite a bit. It's not ready to turn yet. There's no confirmation quite yet. But because it's a Friday, it is very possible that SPY is still getting ready for its another push towards 500 before we make a rejection. I think SPY could push a little higher and get very close to 500. But here's the thing. I wouldn't turn extremely bullish after that. I wouldn't just say it's going to pump and pump forever. We might tag 500 and get a big rejection as lots of profit takers might step in. So the closer we get to 500, I'm thinking that a little pump could come to SPY, but then we might get a dump after once we get the profit taken. So look for a little pop and drop move tomorrow, a test of 500 and back down. As far as Tesla goes, we're looking bullish, still trying to hold up and watch. Basically, this resistance at 190, the 50 EMA. Tesla might drop in the morning, grab liquidity down here at the 20 EMA near the 186 to 187 area, then bounce and push back up towards 190. If we break this, we're going to be looking for a push to 192. And we're hoping Tesla could try to close above 190. So it's looking pretty good right now, expecting a nice uptrend. So watch it very, very carefully. This is going to be very, very nice to witness. For Aapl, we're kind of flat right now. We're not really doing a whole lot. We're just barely holding 188. So be very careful right here. We'll see how well this kind of holds. And I want to just mention that Aapl is, in my opinion, not looking the strongest right now. We have a head and shoulders like structure starting to develop. We're going to see if Aapl gets a rejection or not. If it does, this could become a little bit more bearish. So just be a little bit careful if this is forming some kind of top right now. We're about to sink. Watch 188. If we lose that, we're going to be sinking towards 187.5. Then we have 186.5 coming. Resistance watch 188.6. If we break that, 189 is next and 190. But there is going to be a risk of this thing rejecting, coming back down, so be very careful. Now for the QQQ, if we're bearish, we're going to be coming down to 430. That's going to be a very, very important support. And for resistance, watch 433.5 to 434. That's going to be key for this. Now, this does have potential to push up thanks to Nvda. If Nvda does see this cup and handle information pan out, but so far Nvda is kind of struggling. Excuse me, is struggling around this 700 area. So we'll have to see if this could break. We're kind of shuffling for now. We need to break the all-time high to turn bullish again and help the QQQ. My gut is telling me we might see another pop tomorrow, but we might shuffle around the 700 area just like how we did today. It might not be able to get a very, very big break. It might kind of struggle a bit, so be a little bit careful. So for the QQQ, that makes me think it might push a little bit more to 434, but we might be forming a top, might see some sideways price action up there. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope my views were insightful for you guys. I think SPY, the QQQ, Tesla, these tickers could push more, but SPY might be forming a top soon as we're at extremes. We're approaching that psychological 500. And once we hit that, we might not just break immediately. We could get a big rejection. So be very, very careful. With that being said, have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you and peace out.